man protects his family, Frank. A man protects his family. My blood is your blood now, motherfucker.
I like this game.
Hello everyone and welcome to Geek Academy channel. My name is Igor and we are continuing to analyze from Season 2, Episode 6, one of the best ones, but unfortunately usually action-packed episodes, you know, with a lot of tension and drama. They tend to have less detail, less conversation, less small tiny clues that we can find, but still, as usual, I prepared a lot of interesting things for you. So, before we begin, I want to thank everyone who supports me on Patreon, here on YouTube. Your small donations, your big donations, whatever they are, they're never small or big to me. They're just support and motivation that I use every time I create those videos. Thank you so much, and let's dive in. First, we can see here Boyd. He comes to the church to probably talk to Sarah, and suddenly the whole room is empty. Completely empty, not even one furniture but the small table there, and also the talisman. I don't know how to translate it, how to interpret it, but it's kinda weird, you know, don't you think so? Everything is gone but the talisman and the small table. Okay, the small table is there for the music box, but the talisman, why is it still there? I don't know. What comes to my mind is basically this power, whatever it is that's holding on to Boyd, is telling us and showing us that this talisman is like, I don't give a shit about this talisman, it doesn't affect me, I can still be inside of this house and still affect Boyd, even though it's still only his dream. So yeah, when we look at the ballet dancer, she's very similar to what we have seen in the music box, the same hairstyle, obviously the same dress. I thought it may be the same dress that Tabitha found in the caves, maybe it's somehow connected, yeah, but no, there are still not many similarities, just both of those dresses are white. But the one Fatima found in the caves doesn't look at all like a ballet dress. So when we move forward, one of the things I noticed, probably nothing here, but once again I share with you everything. You remember we tried to understand this image. What the hell is that? Probably it's not, but it kind of looks similar to what we're seeing here. You decide by yourself, but once again this is just some small similarity, something I notice, I share with you. But I myself, usually if I find something and I think it's good, I'm gonna stick on it and I'm gonna be like, yeah, look at that, there's like another clue for that, this is a pattern, blah blah blah. I'm excited about it. Sometimes I just notice things and my brain tells me, yeah, this is nothing, but I still share it with you because this nothing can maybe with 100% chance be something. So I prefer just to say it instead of be quiet about it and maybe after a couple of years just telling you like, I thought about it, believe me please that I thought about it. And yeah, let's move forward. We can see that the ballerina here, when she's dancing, just look at this scene. She kind of takes Boyd's hand and she's doing the dance, and Boyd is pretty much shocked here. He doesn't understand what's happening, so it feels like she's mechanized, like she's some kind of a robot. Obviously she's not, okay, she's some kind of mystical spiritual thing, but it feels like she has to have this dance exactly like it is. This is the moment she needs to spin and somebody needs to hold her hand. This is why she takes his hand and she's like using him in order to complete this dance. So she is connected somehow to the music box and the music box controls her. This is a vision created by the music box, by the worms that are inside Boyd's body. So yeah, also she didn't brush her teeth, not at all, and you should brush your teeth, otherwise you're gonna have worms inside of your mouth. Don't show this video to your kids because they're gonna be traumatized. Anyway, we're moving forward. We can see that there is some kind of I don't know what is it, a chest, a lockbox, and it has something that looks like a North Star symbol. This is something new, once again probably not related to our world at all. I just noticed those things, and here we can see when Alice is carrying one of the wooden boxes here, it also has some sort of a logo here. Now once again, my search via ChatGPT, via reverse image in Google didn't give me shit. Unfortunately, I wish it would, but nothing here. So if it's a fake logo, if it's not something real, if it was made specifically for the show, why bother? I mean, like, of course you want to create as detailed world as possible, but probably no one would complain if it was just a wooden box without this logo here. So if you put it there, gotta be for some reason. At least I think so. Tell me, what do you think in the comments? I will love to read. Now we can see here once again the Lavender Palm Rehabilitation and Treatment Center. This is where Mariel was going. This is where she was heading to fix her, you know, like drug addiction. Obviously this is not a real place. Once again we have those butterflies, fishes, sheep, birds, whatever. All the time you have some kind of small box here. And one of the things it made me think about is, we talked about, you know, like the Gerhardt trucks in the previous episode, the company that is based in Canada, and why would they be excited about a short from a Canadian company? Kind of weird for me here, but once again Michigan is pretty close to Canada, maybe it somehow interlaps one another, I don't know. Anyway, we're moving forward. We can see that next to the cellar, and I didn't notice this, there is some kind of an old structure, some kind of old building. It looks very similar to the same place where Boyd is gonna fight the music box in the end of the season. So something big was built here. This is a big structure. This is not a tiny house. This looks like maybe, I don't know, a small church or a bigger church. I don't know what it is, but it is big. So maybe also those are the ruins that Julie and Ethan are going to explore in the end of the season 3. And we can see here in front of the cellar, there's one of those rocks that we see everywhere. The one was around Father Guthrie, the one we see all the time in the city, and right now this rock is occupied by the music box. So maybe there is some kind of a connection, but I do think those rocks need to have some kind of magical connection to this place. Now when we see here Boyd, everything activates. Like in this episode particularly, the music box is way more active. Boyd returned in episode 3. This is episode 6 already. Okay, and suddenly all of the visions and everything that happens to him is really dense. It happens every couple of hours. This is because the music box wants something to happen during the night. We're gonna see it. Yeah, and right now we can see once again the ballerina. She goes out from the cellar, and we can see here another small Easter egg just for you and for me. We can see that a lot of those tin cans here behind them are peaches that Victor finished, so Victor is helping. Yeah, I just enjoy seeing this here. And we can see another small tiny detail. Just when you like zoom in here, we can see be sure to ratio. This is once again a lot of thought and effort in creating the lore of this place. You know, right now there is a shortage of food, so it's pretty logical to find all of those notes next to the notes of, you know, like be careful during the night, put your talisman and everything. Also be sure to ratio your food, probably because times are hard. So here we can see that Jim is like, when he hears that there's not enough food, he's excited that his theory, his idea about what's happening is turning to be true. At least he thinks so. He's like, that's all part of it. They would be trying to increase the stress level. And it kind of feels like Jim is being here Delulu ProMax. I don't know. I don't think this is the point. Like just to show that Jim is going insane. Don't think so. Maybe, I think, and this is a big maybe, I think Jim is on point here. He just misses who is responsible. He thinks this is some kind of scientists that are doing some fucked up experiment. Maybe this is some of the powers that are actually trying to increase the stress level, or they are still angry at everybody. We made this place angry in the end of season 1. You remember, like the boy in white told Sarah, you made this place angry. Maybe it's not over with the storm. It's not like, yeah, you take some storm and that's it, we're friends again. No, the place is still angry and it wants to punish everyone. This is why winter is coming, and this is why there is no food. So we can see that Boyd is cosplaying Spider-Man. He's always doing this kind of movement, you know, like. And also when he meets the ballet dancer again, she's doing for him the YouTube do-it-yourself video. She's basically showing him almost like an instruction. This is what you have to do. Now, something that's hard for me to understand a little bit is why every time it finishes with some kind of death threat for Boyd. She's either attacking him with worms from her mouth, here she's choking him, or she's trying to show him this is what you have to do. You need to like push your hand at somebody and transfer this blood to somebody else. This is what this blood, those worms, those demons inside of Boyd, this is what they want to do. This is why he's seeing those visions. This is why he's seeing the ballerina showing him exactly what to do, because they wanted this to happen. What happens during the night, they really wanted it to happen. So for Boyd to kill Smiley and transfer his blood to somebody else. So here another thing, I don't like things changing, and I see that the drawings on top of Alice's bed are always disappearing somewhere. There was this drawing of a woman, we didn't know who that is, why she's there. Now it's not there anymore. It used to be here, now it's not here anymore. Also, we have some drawings of like a black smoke. We have seen those kind of images in the intro, probably drawings made by Victor. Once again, something to notice, the black smoke, this is probably once again some kind of a manifestation of the evil inside this place. And here, this guy, okay, he has this talisman of a triangle, and if we're gonna go to the triangle connections, this video is gonna be 28 hours at least, because you know, like the Trinity and the Bermuda Triangle, the number 3 is always magical for people. There is a lot of connections to the 3 angles, to the triangle. So yeah, right now I'm just noticing this, just remember it. If I'm gonna see something else that basically connected to that, then we're gonna start building some theories on that. But another thing that is interesting and funny for me, the way he apologized, it was basically like he stepped on Alice's leg and didn't stab him. He was like, oh god, no, I'm sorry. This was his reaction, and it was kind of funny to me. So Del is a douchebag. I know he is pretty angry at Alice from season 1, but still not a reason to stab anyone. Even though Alice was acting like a dick at this episode in the season 1, still, you don't stab people for that, Del, come on. And somebody please give an Oscar to this guy, because he's really selling his shock and awe about what's happening to Alice. Now, when we look at Elgin here, once again, you can interpret this scene in 2 different ways. One, the first that comes to my mind is basically he's afraid to go outside when there are monsters and save Alice. This is something you need to face your fear, like in the formula we discussed in the previous episode. You need to become brave. You need to like Donna's gonna say in the end of this episode, you need to face your fear, because fear makes us heroes. Maybe that's it. Or, since we're talking about Elgin and we have already seen him recognizing some places and talking about the body of water, do you have like some kind of lake here or something like this, recognizing Fromville? It kind of gives me a vibe of him experiencing some kind of a deja vu, like he lived this moment, like he knows what's gonna happen, like he knows that he needs to go outside and grab the card and save Alice. This is my vibe here. Once again, there is no proof for that so far, but let me know what you think in the comments as usual. So yeah, once again, as I told you, feels like he remembers it, he's helping in this situation, and we can see the monsters here. Those 2 look pretty much alike. Both of them are from the library, looks like it. They're finally, the monsters here are like teaming up according to like the theme and the period, or just once again a coincidence. But this guy, this is the first time I see this. I don't know, this is the James Bond from Temu, I have no idea. The turtleneck, the mustache, he's pretty tall. Don't remember that monster so far. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just didn't notice. We can see the bride here, and I'm not 100% sure if this is the same girl, the same actress. Pretty much alike, but can also be like 2 different people. I don't know. Tell me once again what you think about it. And the original cheerleader, as you remember in episode 2, we have seen the other one, the other cheerleader. Yeah, this one comes, everybody suddenly knows that there is somebody alive here. They're pretty much close. I think they can either teleport or they're just disappearing and reappearing somewhere. And we can see one of the best scenes in the whole TV show, in my opinion. I enjoyed it a lot. Nothing that I found here, just basically me sharing with you my emotions when I watched it. I was like holding my chair, a lot of stress, the way it was filmed, like everything is dark, you can barely see where he is driving, the camera is moving from Elgin to Alice and Fatima, we can see the screams of the monsters, hear the screams of the monsters, and you expect every second that something's gonna happen. He's gonna crash into some tree or maybe into some monster, so you're like sitting on the edge here. I enjoyed it so much. And by the way, haven't you noticed? I kind of noticed it, but I always forget to tell you this, that in season 2 they started to scream again. You remember the conversation between Boyd and Sarah when he told her like they used to scream and now they're just whisper? They used to screech, you know, like do the Nazgul sound, like whatever, sorry. And it stopped when they found the talismans, but it came back again. And it came back again after the storm. How is it connected? I need to think about it, need to sleep on it, but once again, it looks like there is a connection. It has to be, at least. And we can see here that Father Khatri, you remember when we discussed the last episode, I told you it doesn't feel like this is really Father Khatri because he was cursing, and here he's saying, you were the most stubborn asshole I have ever met. This sentence kind of gave me a vibe that this is not somebody portraying to be Father Khatri, this is actually Father Khatri, or Boyd really creates this vision by himself. Maybe it works that way. Maybe those worms that inside of his body, they don't just create visions for themselves with the ballet dancer and like do some Spider-Man to Smiley. Also maybe Boyd that needs reassurance and some motivation what to do in this situation kind of manifests those images that are closest to him, just like Abby in season 1 and now Father Khatri, his best friend here. So once again, this is something just to think of. And yeah, this is Boyd for you. I almost giggled in this scene, like your son is bleeding, dying, you yourself like almost dying, experiencing a living nightmare, and Boyd is here still helping everybody. He's like, are you feeling good? Are you feeling good? And he's actually telling Fatima to be calm. Like, I know Fatima is his fiance, but it's still his son. And in this situation, like, you remember the first episode when Boyd was talking to Frank and he was like, a father protects his family. A father protects his family. I remember to enjoy this so much because I don't want it to turn anything like political, God forbid, but there's a lot of like new trends right now in a lot of movies that usually fathers are portrayed as something completely incompetent, and I pretty much enjoy seeing like a great father figure in movies or in TV shows, and hearing like father needs to protect this family, this kind of like traditional gender role being portrayed as something good, this was refreshing, and I'm happy to see that Boyd is living up to his words. Like, he's probably dying to break down here, just to fall on the floor, you know, like put himself in the fetus position and start crying, but he's not just only fighting his own demons, he is basically helping everybody else. So yeah, Boyd is pretty much one of the toughest motherfuckers out there. Now I know how much most of you like to hate Kenny, and at this moment I kinda hate him too. Them didn't trust Boyd, thinking he's going insane. This is always was weird for me in all of those TV shows, in all of those movies. You like spend like 90 minutes with somebody, there's like demons, vampires, like teleportation, people travel time, and then somebody comes out and he's saying like, I hear voices, and everybody's like, yeah, this was all logical. The vampires, the ghouls, the monsters that go out of night, the town you cannot leave because you drive around in circles. This is all pretty much scientifical, but you hearing voices? You're going insane. I'm gonna put my gun in front of you. So yeah, Kenny is being a douche here, but once again, to his credit, 15 seconds later, when they actually have seen the worms inside Boyd's body, he was ready to take it himself. Pretty bold move to save someone who's not even like your closest relative, to save Alice. So yeah, this dude can be a dick sometimes, but he's a brave one also, and his heart usually in the right place. And yeah, like, what happened here? Until this moment, only Boyd was able to see those worms, and suddenly everybody else seen them. Maybe, and I think once again this is a big maybe, the worms, the demons inside of Boyd's body, they have a sentient mind. So when everybody was already forcing Boyd to transfer his blood to Alice, they don't want to go to Alice. This is just basically replacing one thing with another, the same one. They want to get inside one of the monsters, because this is how you create cicadas and this is how you explode and start terrorizing everybody else. This is what's happening here. This is why the demons show themselves to everybody else, so they will listen to Boyd and give him the opportunity to do what he needs to do. So yeah, like he's even saying, I can feel it getting stronger. Why is it getting stronger? Because it's getting ready for something that has to happen during the night. This is once again just a theory, but I think it's a pretty logical one. So we can see Smiley here is after like Boyd cut him, maybe the scars on their forehead is something similar to this. Maybe they were cut with the knife to transfer some demons to them through this cut. I don't know how it's connected to Jim's scar, if it's connected at all. But once again, this is just some idea for you to think about. So we move forward. As I told you, we are seeing this scar also in the talisman, in the stick figure that we're gonna see in season 3. Maybe this is also some kind of symbolical gesture, symbolical movement, like you need to cut somebody's forehead and you put your blood and you say, my blood is your blood, motherfucker, and that's it. Somebody is now infected with demons. So yeah, once again, this password, Boyd added something here that was not in the original one. He needs to say it like, in order for this to open, you need to say my blood is your blood now. I don't know how it works, but since it works, you can assume that there are some magical spells here in this place. Like you can say abracadabra or Wingardium Leviosa and it's gonna work. I don't know if it's exactly true, but we have seen it work twice. Maybe the demons would still know to go from Boyd to Smiley and him saying this just in case. Maybe there's something you just need to say. But when the Smiley receives the demons, he's saying, I like this game. It's very curious. It kind of makes you feel that the monsters are experiencing everything as a game. They're very curious, they're like children, very deadly ones, and they want to do everything. They want to play some game with somebody, like, don't you run away for me, please? We want to play some game. And when he starts dying, you can see that the cowboy stops smiling. He's pretty worried. They haven't seen anything like it. So it's not something that they expected to happen. So probably the same forces that are right now already in Smiley body, before they were in Boyd's body, they're not connected to the monsters. They are either way higher on the hierarchy of the evil of this place, or it's two different forces and they're not connected at all. So yeah, they're like checking what the hell happened with him, and they have those like robotic movements. Just look at the cowboy. He's like, the way he leans in, it's very robot-like. Maybe those creatures are actually something scientific. Maybe this is something that was bred in some laboratory, or it was made like a cyborg. You know, the definition of cyborg is basically like a metal skeleton and the body of a human being, but maybe it's all like a genetical, like biological body that was created, but it's controlled somehow through some program. Also something to think about. And also when they leave, it also feels very robotical. They're like 185 degrees and here I live. I go here and I go there. Also the shopping lady and the cowboy, this is the second time they're together. Do they have teams or it's just random here? And we can see there's a conversation between Donna and Ethan, a good one. Also something that makes you once again a little bit suspicious about Donna, because she's saying that fear is a good thing. And we kinda experience fear already as something bad in this place, like this place makes you fear and it feeds on it. But what Donna here is saying is it's like hope, it's like a joy or love, but this one is most important of all, because without fear we wouldn't know how to be brave. Fear is what makes us heroes. This is just a motivational story for the kid to make him feel better. Once again, maybe it's somehow connected to the lore of this place, because we have seen many times the theme of fear, the theme of hope, being repeated and repeated. So when somebody from our main characters talks about it, you kinda have to notice. And no shit, Sherlock, yeah, you should have listened to Boyd. Please stop doing this. Also, when you live in this place, when somebody tells you that something weird happened, you don't just dismiss it until you checked it many times. You already live in a place like when every day something weird, something not realistic happens. So if somebody who's been a sheriff for this town, has basically been saving this town for God knows how long, tells you that he's experiencing some visions and he was attacked by some evil force, try to believe him next time, please. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. I appreciate your support, watching it until the end, liking, subscribing, whatever feels like doing right now. I will appreciate it very much. And I'll see you in the next one, episode 7, only 4 left, and I still hope I will manage to do everything until September 22nd, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!